What's good, y'all? It's your boy AceMaceo, the Divine One. We back in Ace's Temple tonight. Today, we get into the ancestors. Y'all know me, I love talking about spirits, deities, gods, and goddesses. But it really all starts with the ancestors. That is your first line of defense, okay? Before I even started messing with any deities, before I was talking to the Hootie, was messing with the ancestors. Had the first foundation is the ancestors, okay? But then that leads you into all the different spirits and then tapping into them, okay? Because there's ties. So your cultural background, your ancestral background may tie to an ancient civilization or many civilizations, because you know how families split the genes. So you may have some shit in your bloodline you had no idea, like how was that there, and why is this deity coming through? It can get confusing, but go with the flow. They're always here to teach something. They're always here to help you grow. Well, by the end of the stream, y'all will know how to go talk to y'all ancestors. Y'all will be able to go talk to ancestors. Y'all will have an understanding and a foundation of life after death, how their spirit is still living on, and what is the purpose of still giving them offerings, still communicating with them, how that can help you in your journey, make your journey easier. So that's the purpose of this video. So who are the ancestors? The ancestors are, like I said, they are you. It's first off an understanding of what are spirits. First off, so spirits are you. They are all aspects of the mind. The first hermetic principle is the all is the mind. So the universe is you. The universe is a reflection of you. Everyone you ever met in your life, everyone you ever encountered is a reflection of you in some way or some fashion. And your encounter with them is either telling you a shadow aspect of you, a projection, or how it hits off. It could be a number of things. But with your family, your bloodline, that's like your soul incarnation, your body, your physical body. You have your soul family, those who are not in your bloodline that you may come back with, who are other avatars who manifest in the same game realm at the same time as you, which are just other pieces of their higher soul. From their higher soul, their spirit has manifested as that avatar for you in this. Because the way I look at it is that there's an overworld. This is just like a generalization. There's an overworld of all these gods, goddesses, titans, all these different beings. They're these pure souls, right? And they send down their fragments. They send down their fragments and they incarnate here on Earth or on these different planes and dimensions. So that's how we get into people having spirit teams, being avatars, deities in the flesh. What is your purpose? What is the purpose of life, this game of life? And the way to get that out the way, I'll give my perspective on that. That is, I'd say, is existence versus non-existence. Because one thing I learned and picked up was the reason we have Earth, and in metaphysics and occult, Earth is the material, what is matter, what you can touch. With that being what you can touch, it's what matters. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. The physical world, this material world, is what matters because it is matter. It is existence. You have that or the nothingness. Just not necessarily nothing, either the nothingness or all the pure energy, but not the physical sensation, the time, the history, the art, the colors. It's so much. Like really, if you get into I forgot the name of the state. I think they call it Sonder, state of Sonder. No, that's not the state of Sonder. But a state of bliss of just noticing the beauty in the world, just noticing how the perfection, everything comes together. Get into those states and you'll realize, okay, I see how, you'll see why this all comes. But back to the ancestors, because they are spirits. You are a spirit. So example, this flesh, this avatar you're seeing with the frames, the glasses, this is a spirit. This is a, what you would say, a alter ego, a mask on a certain level, a deific mask, because deities at a certain level of your journey, the path, you'll understand deities have deific masks. They may be one deity, but they'll come off as many names. So like example, Tahuti, Thoth, that's already two names right there. And then he also is known as Hermes to the Greeks, or Quetzalcoatl in South America. So those are deific masks of the same energy, the same deity, but they're just different aspects, okay? And the same thing with the ancestors, your loved ones passed on. They are aspects of you, as well as they in themselves have maybe aspects of another energy, or they themselves are an aspect of their higher energy. So it's just a continuous aspects on aspects on aspects, but that's just because of Venus. So don't get caught up on that. But the key thing to realize is that they are a soul that incarnates. When they die, their spirit goes into the spirit realm, where we are still here. We can still access the spirit realm. We can still connect with the spirit realm. We can still connect with the ancestors. But their soul reincarnates. So it may incarnate in the future. It may incarnate back in the past. Incarnation gets wonky, but that we're talking about the spirit here, because the spirit is almost infinite. The way spirit work is, as long as the spirit is remembered, it permeates, it lives on. It can work, it can do things. It can do things in the unseen world, in the spirit world for you. That's how all these deities and such work, because they have all this energy from being remembered over thousands, hundreds of years. All this energy being fed through them through ritual over years and through tradition. That's the power permeated over a long period of time. As well as even with that's the same reason in chaos magic people can tap into pop culture characters. Like people can tap into Marvel character. You can work with the spirit of Spider-Man. You can work with the spirit of the Hulk. You can get on your Tony Stark, Iron Man shit. These are all energies you can tap into and work with. These are spirits, energy you can tap into and work with. The same way you tap into your ancestors, but your ancestors are the foundation, the one. I'm just bringing that up because this is the science. This is the same science of life after death, as well as the spirit world and the physical world. It's the same. It's understanding as well of necromancy. Shout out Bill. So trying to think. So life. So I'm talking about the ancestors. Every time I have to bring up a spirit, all shit goes away. Every time, because I'm a channel. That's what it is. So okay, so yeah, that's why the spirits permeate and live on. Okay. In terms of death, so when people say, okay, that's what I was trying to get to. So when people say death is an illusion, death isn't real, this is the understanding of that spirit world, that astral realm is still there. It's still another world. You've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. You've seen all these movies about the multiverse, Doctor Strange and such. They're talking about an astral world. Your multi-surf is a parallel world. This ancestral realm, this death realm, is another realm that can be tapped into, that is still there. So this is why people give offerings to their ancestors. They burn ancestor money. You can still talk to your loved ones. You still do it. I want y'all to understand that. That's not no witchcraft hoopla. This it's happening. It's happening. I've seen some channelers do some things that even I haven't even been able to do, and I've just been like, but you know it's real off the emotion. It's an inner knowing. It's an inner knowing with these things. So you'll know it's the ancestor because you know them. It's just an inner knowing within. Yeah. So if you haven't seen my video on life after death, and I go into that as well, TikTok video I post on my YouTube as well, so y'all check that one out. So why work with the ancestors? So like I said, you're feeding their spirit. Their spirit lives on. They can still do things in the astral. They can help you out. They can help out other ancestors, other people in your bloodline, and so on and so forth. They hold knowledge because it's like they're still living a life on the other side. Because keep in mind, after death, you go where your mind takes you. Okay, so if you think you're going to heaven or hell, you're gonna go to your heaven or you're gonna go to your hell. Now some people, they can do the astral work. They can get their ancestors out of that hell state because it's just a state of mind. That's just their spirit being in that lower state. If they're in the hell state, just pull up in that hell state. They probably at a barbecue chilling. They probably lit. And then, but it's still like a life. So they still might be working a job. If they're only known to be, if they've only known about working their whole life, they've been in the matrix, and all they know is work. In the astrals, in the afterlife, they is gonna be working. That's gonna be their experience. Okay, so understand. That's another thing about death. You ought to understand that you will go where your mind goes. What are you doing day to day? So then when people say your mind makes your reality, you create your world. That literally in death, that is what's going on. So in life, what you're preparing for, and people say they're preparing for death, they're preparing for the next life. They're creating their world while they're already here. So that's just on the personal aspect of doing the work. But so that you don't get caught up in those hell states or in a loop like heaven state, but truly go into your own world. That's why we do this work in the living. And then we help our ancestors already by sending them light, giving them offerings, and they as well help us in return, by helping us in the physicals. Because you can work with ancestors for anything. They can give you ideas, give you knowledge, that can lead you to money, lead you to love, great guidance, protection. That gangster hood, that hood nigga ancestor that got shot, I'm telling you right now, he's a beast in the astral realm. Your cousin is a beast in the astral realm. I'm trying to tell y'all. So tap in with rapport. So this is how y'all can tap in with him. So like I said, you can leave offerings for him. It could be food. It could be, if they was a smoker, leave them cigarettes, tobacco. You could roll them a blunt, leave it for them. Whatever food, whatever they like, put that on the altar or offer it. Just if you want to leave it at the crossroads, or something you can do. Leave it out in nature, but set the intention that it's for so and so. As well as you can pour libations. That's a powerful one. Pour libation, say their name, Ashe. And that works as well for you. Can do all these same things. It works the same way with deities. All of what I'm telling you, it works the same way with deities. This is just the intimate, personal, one-on-one foundational level is the ancestors. Another ways you can work with them, a gem I might get some flack for this one, but eat the offerings. Eat the offerings and take the offerings. Smoke the offerings. Because remember what I just said and what I just told y'all. You are the ancestors. You are the ancestors. So take it in their name. As them. Invoke their energy. Become them in that moment. Take a swig. That's the science. That's invoking that you are the ancestors in the flesh. Living out their dream. You see what I'm saying? And as well, how I remember, okay, and another thing, I said your ancestors are your bloodline. Your ancestors can be any of your loved ones. So like I said, you have soul family. You have soul family that you incarnated with. So like if you have dead homies or your homegirls that may have passed on, those are others you can tap. You can still tap in with them. It's not just locked down to bloodline. With spirit work, with working with spirits, it's spirit. Tapping in with the spirit. The world, the all is the mind. Everything is in here. The universe is really within. So you can tap into anything by going within. So you can tap into your loved ones. You can talk to them. You remember them. You know them. You remember their essence. That's the thing. You know their essence. You know them. You grab onto that. Hold on to that. And that's what you zone in on. You focus in on that energetically and pull them forth. And you connect with them. So on with that. Any recommendations on cleansing or any protection needed for altar? Setting up my first one. Alright, so let's get into the altar. That was the first thing I was going to get. The next thing I was going to get into. So the altar consists of mainly 4 things. When you're doing altar work. Alright. So when you're doing altar work, it mainly consists of, you should have the 4 elements on your altar. So you should have the fire element, a candle, water, the water element, so a cup, and then you should have incense, air element, and you should have earth. So what are all those elements? So fire is energy, passion, will. I'm kind of getting magically talking, but it'll come back around. Air is like information, data, senses, like the information you're picking up from your senses. Water is your feelings, emotions, like actually feeling those emotions, the actual feeling sensation. And then the earth is what you touch. It's the physical. It's what you can see. As like, for example, if I have an altar, or example, I have a crystal right here, this pyrite crystal, right? This is the earth element. I can touch this. If I have a picture of an ancestor, that's the earth element. A lot of y'all already have ancestor altars. Black people, well, a lot of people already have ancestor altars. Like I know already black people already pour libations, pour them for the dead homies. They do that subconsciously already. But I know already people may have a table set up with their past granny, their past mother, past father, set up on a table. It might have a candle on there, or a table light that's still fire, that light. They may sit there, talk to it. They might sit there and they may be getting messages from their ancestors telepathically. It's the spirit world. They're right here with us. They're right here with us. So when you have that picture, that portal is open. So they're right here. In terms of protection and cleansing though, I would just say you don't necessarily need a circle, but what I do when I get into my space and I do work, I do a visualization of banishing everything around me. So I go into a white void. I push everything out into a white void until it's just nothing. It's just me in a white void, a white space. That's what I do for cleansing. And then if you want to get protective, you can envision yourself with a envision yourself, because I like doing a lot of visualization. So visualize a circle around you, and you can make it flames, you can make it black flames, you can make it animals, it could be a snake. You could visualize yourself having lions and shit around you. But really, we're dealing with the ancestors. You could visualize yourself having 1,000 ancestors right with you, because that's really what it is. You already have, like Bobby Hemmett, all the teachers already said this. Walk like you got 10,000 ancestors with you. You gotta walk like they with you. Do that in your visualization. I want you to close your eyes right now and see 20,000 ancestors, 20,000 people behind you. And realize they're really there. Like you really have 20,000 motherfuckers backing you up, ready to go. They just waiting on your call. Cause that's the one thing. See, that's the one thing I love about spirit, is that they're really here. They're just waiting for you to make the call. They just want you to ask, and they'll respond. They'll respond. You can tell them how you want them to respond. If you're new to spiritual communication, me myself, I'm open to a lot of different ways. So I pick up messages from a lot of different things. But if you're starting off, you can tell them, hey, tell me in my mind telepathically, go into a trance state and get that first thought. Talk to them that way. Visualize yourself in a temple, in the astral temple, in a space like that white void I said, and just call them forth. See figures walking from a distance, knowing them your ancestors, and when they get closer, you have a conversation. These are visualizations, meditations you do. Like example, I don't like when people say meditate and like just go meditate, just go breathe, do breath work. I don't do that. I go and do visualizations, see things and journey pathward. That's just me. And I think that's like a shamanistic journeying. But that's like very powerful, and one of the most profound things and my favorite thing to do in this is those visualizations, talking to spirits, going places, just taking my mind what they would call your imagination, but really it's the subconscious, your childlike mind. This is all things they try and shut down. So like example, like I said, the spirit just wants you to call. Ancestors just waiting for you to call. All you gotta do is ask. But for years they have you thinking death is something to grieve over. A lot of people grieve when people die, but they'll forget about their ancestors. A lot of people don't even know about ancestor worship, giving them offerings. And there's nothing against them, because it's just the ignorance and the manipulation through of the system. You know how that goes. But you know, we're in the return of the age, so the ancestors coming back. The ancestors have reincarnated back on the planet. The young gods are reincarnated. I'm one of them. O2, young god back in the flesh, the ancients in the flesh, thydivinehimself in the flesh. So we back in this. We back in here, and there's more coming. The ones that's coming, oh boy. The babies that's coming, oh my gosh. The one that's being born right now, them are some powerful. Them are the gods, the titans. As the time goes on and more time goes on, more powerful, more stronger kids, more powerful beings. These indigo, crystal, rainbow children. More powerful beings are going to be coming onto the planet, and these are all more and more ancient ancestors. So the ancients is coming back. I thought I was ancient. Nah, these young motherfuckers is ancient. You see their cognition coming straight out the womb. It's different. But yeah, that's what I would say on the protection front and the altar work front. But yeah, that's how you connect with the ancestors, okay? And I want y'all to really tap into your imaginative, creative mind, because that mind is what's gonna take you far. That's what's gonna have you tap in with them. So like, for example, I remember someone saying they didn't like when people said let me say it like this. They said they didn't like deity spirits being referred to as like imaginary friends. But when I heard that, I was like, that's sauce. Because talking to imaginary friends, I used to have imaginary friends. My man's James. Come to find out, that was my grandfather, the ancestor. I was like, oh, see, imaginary friends be ancestors the whole time. Be spirits the whole time. Be gods or goddesses the whole time. That's who these imaginary friends be. But that mind state, tapping into that's how you do it. Do that same thing, but you're doing that with your loved ones. Doing that with deities. Doing that with any spirit. And that's what we do here on Ace's Temple. This is occult, metaphysics, spirituality, and chaos magic. Anything else on the ancestors? Anything else? Any questions, y'all, on TikTok? Any more questions? I think I covered everything on the ancestors. Yeah, your ancestors, that is your first line of defense. That is your foundation. The ancestors will lead you to what spirits you should tap into first. Now, I do deity readings, and I see what spirits incarnated with you, what ancestors are already open to working with you, who wants to work with you, and who may be wanting to work with you right now at this moment in your journey, in your path. And this video is introduction to those readings, because you need to have that foundation with your ancestors and know how to work with your ancestors. Because once you know how to have that connection with your ancestors, know how to work with them, then you can work with the spirits, because you just know how to connect with them. It's the same thing, just a different energy. And another thing, when you work with different ancestors, you get to tell the different energies that different ancestors may have. Not every energy is the same. So just over time, this builds this sensitivity to energies. But yeah. Anything else? Yeah, I think that's it on the ancestors. Get it, lead you. But yeah, if y'all want a deity reading, hit the link in my description or in my bio. Beacons.ai/the divine one. I got a PDF version as well as a consultation version. The consultation, I can go deeper and tell you and show you how to work with them. I'll give you some visualization, some meditation techniques, help you set up your altar. In the PDF, I give you a list of deities, some more knowledge about the knowledge of self, about yourself, and how to apply that. It basically gets you started on your research, because really the research is for you to be doing, because you're going to pick out things that even I can't see. Certain things are going to mean something different to you, but it's clear as day. It's not hard. But yeah, if you want to book that, get that, link in description, link in bio, beacons.ai/divine one. Subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, AceMaceo, Ace's Temple, healing beats, healing meditation beats and music on my other YouTube, AceMaceo. Every week we drop it. And yeah, man, I'm finna slide out of here and go to the Astros, man. I'll see y'all next time in the temple. Ace out. See.